Today marked the first day that the SRX support and resistance system was available for QQQ and IWM. And here's a look at how we did on our very first day. Hey guys, it's Phil with the Trade Lab Discord. Hope you're all having a wonderful Thursday so far. We're about 4 minutes from market close, and I wanted to give you an update on how the SRX support and resistance system worked on all three of the tickers that we now support. If you've been following me for a while, then you know that SRX was developed for SPY, but we've been testing QQQ and IWM behind the scenes for a good month or so now. And yesterday, after market close, we finally were able to release our SRX Plus system, which adds on QQQ and IWM. So we're going to take a look at all that today, but let's start out on SPY. We had the down arrows here, which are our EMA and zone interactions, and you can see price went down from there. We had two more right here, along with a break and retest signal, and we went down here as well. We did get a break and retest on the S4 level. You have to be cautious about these, especially because we were already at max low. The play that I called out was when we broke through max low, I told people to start looking at calls. And I actually took a call right here, somewhere on this candle, and exited up here, and couple other people from the Discord did the same thing. I also suggested to our members that like to do spreads that it would be a good time to sell a put credit spread while we were down here. And we had some people participate in that as well. So let's hop over to QQQ and see how that chart looked today. Well, the zones were very bunched up today. This is pretty unusual, but it was a good indication when we started blasting through these and we were getting the breaks and retests of these zones that we had a wide open field just to go down. And that's exactly what happened. And you can see, where did we bounce? At the max low. So the first day we have QQQ publicly available, we had three killer signals here. Now let's hop over to IWM. We could see here that at 9:55 we had a down arrow, and this was the same type of setup that we saw on SPY and QQQ. We did have a couple of break and retest plays. I think Lance might have been in on this one right here, and he was able to take profit down here. This signal probably didn't pan out. This would have either been a break even or a small loss. I do want to show you guys some of the actual trades our members took, but before I do that, I want to show you the power of looking at these things in conjunction. So if you're new to TradingView, maybe you don't know about this yet, but on some of the plans, I don't know if this applies to all of the plans, you have this layout setup button here. And I'm on the highest tier of TradingView, so I have access to all kind of interesting things here. These numbers here on the left tell you how many symbols you can look at the same time. And then on the right, you can see the different layouts. So right now, I'm just looking at one stock and it's taking up the whole screen. If you switch to two, then you can choose to have one on the left and one on the right, or one on top and one on the bottom. And you've got the same for 3 all the way through 16. I like to have mine set on 3, and I'm watching SPY, QQQ, and IWM at the same time, since SRX Plus has levels for all three. And there's a lot of handy features inside of this. You can actually change the charts to all be in sync with each other. So if we click on the layout button again, you can see sync and layout. Right now I just have my crosshair synced, which means if I'm over on the SPY chart and I'm hovering at 11:10, you can see that the crosshair appears at 11:10 a.m. on the other two charts. But you can also have it look at the time and the date range as well. And now you can see what happens when I drag one chart, the other one moves with it. You can see even as I'm zooming in, that changes the zoom on some of these other charts as well. And seeing the confluence between several of these charts at once is extremely interesting. I know that SPY and QQQ have similar movements, but as you can see, they don't have the same support and resistance areas. So you can learn something about SPY by watching QQQ and vice versa. So if we look here at 950, we've got two signals here, a break and retest and an EMA, and both of these are bearish, indicating that we might go down. And what's interesting, at the same time, we're getting two bearish break and retest signals from QQQ. And seeing that we have bearish signals coming in on two different charts at the same time tells me that this is a higher confidence play, and I'm really interested in something like this. And of course, you can see what happened there. And with both SPY and QQQ coming into the max low level right here, that tells me that there's a good chance that we're going to bounce. I think some of the TradingView plans only allow for two different tickers at the same time, but that's okay too. You could have SPY and QQQ up as your two main charts, and you could be looking at both for some sort of confirmation. You can see that we get this rejection on QQQ seemingly out of nowhere, but look over here at SPY. That bounce is coming from one of the levels on SPY. So that can be helpful if, say, you're in a call here and you're trying to figure out where to take profit. If you know that we're coming into a zone on SPY that isn't there on QQQ, you could watch this area very carefully here. And this will work the other way as well. Sometimes what you're seeing on this side will be what you're seeing in SPY, and QQQ is going to show that we're coming into an area of resistance. And you can use that as your indicator to take profits on SPY. So these two charts work very well together. And then you could still easily move over to IWM anytime you want to look at something. Still got it over here. And then you can just switch back and forth on this side with QQQ and IWM. And getting your levels to appear on both of these panels, or if you have three panels, is really simple. You just do everything on your main panel over here on SPY. I come in here in the morning and I click on my gear icon. I put my levels in here. I click OK. And then I just right click on my chart, and down here, there's an option that says apply these indicators to entire layout. If I click that, that auto applies this indicator with the latest levels onto these two. So I don't have to jump into the indicator on each one of these and change the levels. All I need to do is change it on my main panel here, and then right click and go to apply these indicators to entire layout, and everything is set up and I'm ready for my day. So let's take a look at some of the results today. Lance starts us off this morning, and unfortunately I think his message is cut off, so we can't see where he bought, but this was obviously a really good game because his limit stop was 227 and he got out at 278. So I don't know what his entry was, but this was obviously a very good play. Then, of course, you could see what I did on QQQ, and that was on one of these diamonds right here. And we had our SPY ATM alert come out at 10:30 right here. It was a put. I was a little bit concerned because we were nearing S4 and the max low was right beneath us. So I didn't mark it in right away. And I saw that the price immediately dropped and the premium was too high. So I decided to wait to see if we would get a little bit of a retracement, and we did. So I got into the SPY ATM trade at a much better price. And then I was able to trail my stop and get almost 30%. And this was in 3 minutes. So SPY ATM was awesome today, 30% in 3 minutes. And you can see other people talking about their SPY ATM trades today. And then I did a SPY call and a QQQ call from the max low right in here, both of these. And I was very distracted when I took this, so I left some money on the table, but these were still two really good trades, 8% and 15%. Lance did the same thing. He bought a call at $1.61 and closed it at $1.86 at the max low. You can see his order here. TC took a 1 DTE trade, 120 to 155. Then after 1 o'clock Eastern time, I had a SPY call from 196 to 230, which was 17.35%. And this wasn't even based off of an alert. I was watching the chart. I saw that we had fallen through the 8 EMA, and the white line here is the VWAP. And then we made our way right back above it. So I got in right here and tapped out at 17.35%. Then Lance really went to town today. He had 23 fills today, which is crazy. So he started his day off with QQQ 205 to 218. And then here's the play that was cut off earlier. So we got in for 218, trimmed at 227, trimmed again at 227, and then ran it all the way to 278. And then he had a couple of buys at 184 that it looks like he sold for 244, and then 161 to 186 on SPY, and then 207 to 239 on QQQ. And he gave us some IWM love today, 86 to 99. And then he stopped out at break even with his runner. And then he bought a stock here. That's not related to SRX, but that shows you that this is his real account, not paper trading. Then he has a QQQ call from 72 to 75. And then it looks like he's got his first loss of the day. And look at this, a whopping $1, 79 to 78. And then comes back to redeem himself, 75 to 93 on QQQ. So one loss out of all of this, and it was a $1 loss. I'm sure that was meant to be a break-even stop, and then some slippage happened, which ended up with a $1 loss. Aiden had a lot of great plays today as well, 156 to 161, 174 and 178, and then 156 to 160 and 171. You could see he had a lot more on SPY. This is a great one here, 151 with a runner to 169. Urban Organics says, what an eventful day, lots of trades. 10 out of 12 win rate on spreads. He had some big losses in here, but he had some big wins as well. So he said he's green by about $1,000 minus his commission with 50 plus spreads today. We had some other trades in the Levels chat room. Osirian said he caught the break of S3 with 3 minis for a quick $800. A bad trader had a SPY call 182 to 213, and later in the day 156 with an add-on at 138, and then his exits were 164 and 167. And I'm sure there's a lot more messages buried inside of here. It's hard to keep track because we're chatting in here all day. If you're interested in joining the Trade Lab Discord so that you can get the SRX levels, I'll have links in the description. We have 2 different plans now. We've got our core plan, which just includes SPY, and that's $49 a month. And then we've got our SRX Plus plan, which includes SPY, QQQ, and IWM for $99 a month. If you're a member of the Trade Lab Discord already, we do have some coupon codes for you. You can find those in the announcements section on the Discord. And if you're already a member of SRX Core and you want to add on QQQ and IWM, you can find a link for that in the Discord, or you can reach out to me or Lance through DM and we'll give you the link. You don't want to sign up with this link because this is a bundle for SPY, QQQ, and IWM. You already have SPY if you're in SRX Core, so we have a different link for you to just get the QQQ and IWM portion, and I believe the price on that is $39 a month, and there's a week free trial for those of you that are already in SRX Core. That's a thank you for your support over the last couple of months. So that's going to do it for this video. We will see you guys on the next one.